I used to believe trust was simple. You gave it, and people honored it. That was how I lived my life. My name is Adam, and I built everything around loyalty. I worked long hours, came home on time, and believed love meant staying steady when things got quiet. Adam, you're home late, Emily said one night. I stayed to finish a report, I told her. She smiled. You always work too hard. I work so we can have a calm life, I said. Emily was my wife. 7 years together. 3 years married. I loved her in a way that felt permanent. I never imagined a world without her voice filling our kitchen. Ryan was part of that world too. My cousin, my brother in everything but blood. We grew up side by side, shared secrets, fought, laughed, and protected each other. I trusted him without thinking. Hey man, Ryan said one evening, dropping onto our couch. You got anything to drink? Check the fridge, I said. Emily laughed. He never knocks anymore. He's family, I replied. Ryan grinned. See? Adam gets it. Those nights felt normal. We ate dinner late, joked about work, talked about stupid memories. I remember thinking, this is what safety feels like. But small things started to itch at me. One night, Emily's phone buzzed. She turned the screen down fast. Who's texting? I asked. No one, she said quickly. That didn't sound like no one. She sighed. Why are you checking on me? I'm not checking. I'm asking. Adam, you're being weird. I laughed it off, but the feeling stayed. Ryan started coming over more. Too much. Did you invite Ryan? I asked one afternoon. No, Emily said. He said he was nearby. He's nearby a lot lately. She rolled her eyes. You're overthinking. That word followed me everywhere. Overthinking. I tried to ignore it. I wanted peace more than answers. One night, I said, do you think Ryan's around us too much? Emily looked shocked. Are you serious? I'm just asking. He's your cousin. I know. Then why are you acting like this? I felt stupid. I'm not accusing anyone. You sound like you are. I just feel something's off. She laughed. You're paranoid, Adam. That laugh hurt more than anger would have. Ryan noticed my mood. You good? He asked me outside one night. Yeah, I said. You sure? You've been quiet. Just tired. He slapped my shoulder. Don't let work eat you alive. I nodded, trusting that familiar touch. Still, my chest felt tight. I told myself love meant not doubting. Family meant not questioning. If I pushed, I would break something good. Emily, I said one night, if something was wrong, you'd tell me, right? She kissed my cheek. Of course. Promise. She smiled. Always. I believed her. I believed them both. I didn't know that trust could be used as a weapon. I didn't know that silence could hide betrayal. At that time, all I knew was that I wanted my family to stay whole. So when my instincts whispered, I told them to shut up. I chose comfort over truth, and that choice would cost me everything. The weekends were the worst for my thoughts. Too much quiet gave my mind space to wander. Let's invite Ryan for dinner, Emily said one Saturday. Again, I asked. She frowned. You don't want him here? That's not what I said. Then what are you saying? I'm saying I miss time with just you. She softened. Adam, we're married. We have plenty of time. Ryan arrived with a smile and a bag of food. You guys saved me, he said. I hate eating alone. You're never alone here, Emily said. Those words echoed in my head. After dinner, Ryan and Emily talked in the kitchen while I washed dishes. Do you remember that trip? Ryan asked her. She laughed. How could I forget? What trip? I asked. They both froze. Oh, Emily said. Just a family thing. Yeah, Ryan added fast. Old stuff. I nodded, but my hands shook in the sink. Later in bed, I said, you and Ryan seem close lately. She turned away. We've always been close. Not like this. She snapped. You're imagining things. I swallowed my words. The next day, my sister Linda called. You sound tired, she said. I'm fine. Are you sure? Emily says I worry too much. Linda paused. Trust your gut, Adam. I don't want to ruin my marriage with suspicion. Suspicion doesn't ruin things, she said. Secrets do. I didn't respond. At work, Mark noticed me staring at nothing. Earth to Adam, he said. You okay? Yeah. You said that 5 times today. I just need sleep. Mark leaned closer. If something's wrong, say it. I don't have proof, I said. Proof of what? I shook my head. Nothing. That night, I watched Emily text under the blanket. Who are you talking to? I asked. Linda, she said too fast. She didn't text me. Emily sat up. Are you checking my messages now? No. Then stop acting like I'm guilty. I didn't say that. You're exhausting lately, she said. That word broke me a little. Ryan called me the next day. Hey man, did I do something? No, I said. You sure? Emily says you've been tense. She said that. Yeah, I don't want problems between us. There aren't any. Good, he said. Because you're my brother. Brother. I held on to that word like a lifeline. That night, I stood in the bathroom, staring at my reflection. Get it together, I told myself. I promised I would stop questioning. I promised I would trust. I didn't know I was lying to myself. The following week felt calm on the surface. Dinner's ready, Emily said. I sat down. Smells good. She smiled, but her eyes didn't stay on me. Ryan didn't come that night, and I felt relief mixed with guilt. Do you still love me? I asked suddenly. She blinked. Where did that come from? I just want to hear it. She reached for my hand. Of course I love you. Say it again. She hesitated, then said I love you. It sounded practiced. I hated myself for noticing. Later, I lay awake listening to her breathe. I whispered, I trust you. She didn't answer. In the morning, she acted normal. Kiss me, she said. I did. As I left for work, she waved and smiled. I told myself I was lucky. I told myself paranoia was my flaw. I didn't know this was the last moment before everything shattered. That day, I walked slower than usual. Every step felt heavy. I replayed every conversation, every laugh, every silence. I kept telling myself love needed faith, not fear. I promised I would stop asking questions. I promised I would be better. I didn't know that the truth was already moving toward me, quiet and patient, waiting for the right moment to break my world open and prove that my instincts were never the enemy. They were the warning I refused to hear. By the time I reached my car, trust still blinded me, and I smiled like a fool alone. I came home early that night, earlier than Emily expected, earlier than my life was ready for. The apartment was quiet. No music, no TV. I called out, Emily. No answer. I dropped my keys and walked toward the bathroom to wash my hands. That's when I saw it. A pregnancy test sat on the sink, white plastic, two dark lines staring at me. My throat closed. No, I whispered. No. I picked it up like it might burn me. Emily, I said louder. She rushed in. Adam, why are you home? I held it up. Why is this here? Her face drained. I was going to tell you. When? I asked. After it disappeared? She started crying. I didn't know how. My voice shook. You're pregnant? She nodded. Yes. I waited for joy. It didn't come. How long? A few weeks, she said. I swallowed hard. How many? Adam, please, she said. Don't do this. Tell me. I said. 6, she whispered. My heart started racing. 6 weeks. Yes. I did the math without trying. My mouth went dry. That's not possible. Her eyes snapped up. What do you mean? I was away that month, I said. The conference. 3 weeks. She shook her head fast. You're mistaken. I'm not, I said. I remember every day. She cried harder. Why are you interrogating me? Because I'm confused, I said. Because this doesn't add up. She reached for me. It was an accident. An accident with who? I asked. She pulled back. Adam, stop. Stop what? I said, asking. You're ruining this, she said. This should be happy. Then why do I feel sick? I asked. She wiped her face. I thought you'd be excited. I don't feel excited, I said. I feel scared. She frowned. Scared of what? Of being lied to, I said. She raised her voice. I can't believe you're acting like this. I laughed once, sharp. I can't believe you hid this. I was afraid, she said. Of me? I asked. Of your reaction, she said. This is my reaction, I said. I'm asking questions. She crossed her arms. You're being controlling. That word hit me hard. Controlling? Yes, she said. You always need answers. I need truth, I said. You don't trust me, she said. I said. Help me. She turned away. You're making this about you. It is about me, I said. I'm your husband. She snapped. Not everything is about you, Adam. I stared at her. This is our child. She didn't answer. Silence stretched. My ears rang. Say it, I said. She shook her head. I can't do this right now. She walked past me and locked herself in the bedroom. I stood there holding the test, my hands shaking. Talk to me, I said through the door. Go to sleep, she replied. I sat on the couch all night. I replayed dates, messages, memories. My mind refused to rest. Around midnight, I heard her voice. Low, careful. I can't talk now, she whispered. I held my breath. No, he's here, she said. My stomach dropped. I know, she whispered again. I'm scared too. I stood slowly and walked toward the bedroom door. I told him, she said. He didn't take it well. My hands went cold. Just give me time, she whispered. Please. I heard a man speak softly through the phone. I knew that voice. Ryan. My chest tightened. No, I whispered. I have to go, Emily said. I'll call you later. The call ended. I pushed the door open. You're talking to Ryan? She jumped. You scared me. Answer me, I said. She clutched her phone. You're spying now? I heard his voice, I said. Don't lie. She looked at the floor. He was just checking on me. Why? I asked. Because he's family, she said. So who am I said. She sighed. You're imagining things again. I'm not, I said. This is real. She snapped. You're paranoid. That word again. I stepped back. Tell me the truth. She whispered. You wouldn't understand. Try me, I said. She shook her head. I'm tired. Tired of me? I asked. She didn't answer. I felt something shift inside me. Fear turned solid. I walked away, my legs weak. I sat in the dark and stared at nothing. This wasn't fear anymore. This was truth. I thought of every warning I ignored, every laugh I brushed off. My life wasn't cracking. It was already broken. I stayed on the couch until morning. When Emily came out, her eyes were red. We need to talk, I said. She poured coffee. Not now. Now, I said. She sat across from me. What do you want? I want honesty, I said. She rubbed her temples. I told you I'm pregnant. That's not all, I said. Her jaw tightened. Adam, please. Is the baby mine? I asked. She looked away. Why would you ask that? Because the dates don't match, I said. Because you called Ryan. She slammed her cup down. You're obsessed. I'm desperate, I said. She stood. I won't let you accuse me. I'm not accusing, I said. I'm asking. She pointed at me. This is why I didn't tell you. Because I notice? I asked. She started crying again. You're cruel. I love you, I said. That's why this hurts. She whispered, I didn't plan this. Then how did it happen? I asked. She shook her head. It just did. With who? I asked. Silence. I felt dizzy. Say his name. She covered her face. Stop. I stood up. I deserve that much. She whispered. You're pushing me. I'm standing still, I said. You're the one running. She looked at me like a stranger. I need space. I laughed softly. From your husband? Yes, she said. From your questions. I stepped back. Okay. She looked surprised. Okay. I won't ask anymore, I said. But I won't pretend either. She hesitated. Adam, I need air, I said. I left the apartment and sat in my car. I called Mark. Something's wrong, I said. He asked how wrong. She's pregnant, I said. That's good, right? I don't think it's mine, I said. He went quiet. Are you sure? No, I said. But I'm terrified. Come over, he said. Don't be alone. I hung up and stared at the steering wheel. Inside, my phone buzzed. A message from Ryan. Hey, you okay? Emily seemed stressed. My hand shook. Why are you involved? I typed, then erased it. I replied, we're fine. He answered, good. Family sticks together. I dropped the phone. When I went back inside, Emily was asleep. I lay beside her, stiff. I whispered, I don't recognize us. She turned away. I closed my eyes, but numbers kept flashing in my head. Dates, weeks, lies. I told myself I was wrong. I begged myself to believe her. But my chest felt hollow. Morning light crept in, and with it, clarity I didn't want. Nothing would ever be the same. The test on the sink had already decided that. My life was collapsing piece by piece, whether I was ready or not. I called Ryan and told him to come over. My voice sounded calm, but my hand shook the whole time. When he arrived, he smiled like nothing was wrong. Hey man, Ryan said. You wanted to see me? Sit down, I said. He frowned. What's going on? Emily stood behind me, silent. I looked at him and said, "Are you sleeping with my wife?" Ryan laughed softly. "What? Answer me," I said. He leaned back. "Adam, you're being insecure." "Insecure?" I repeated. "Yes," he said. "You've been acting strange for weeks." I clenched my jaw. "Don't twist this." "There's nothing to twist," he said. "You're imagining things." Emily whispered, "Adam, please." I turned to her. "Don't." Ryan shook his head. "This is what I meant. You're paranoid." I felt my chest burn. "You looked me in the eye and lied?" "I'm not lying," he said calmly. "You're family." "I never do that." I want to believe him. I almost did. I said, then explained the phone call. He didn't hesitate. She was scared. She needed support. "From you?" I asked. "I'm her cousin too," he said. I laughed once. "That's your defense?" Emily started crying. "Stop fighting." Ryan stood. "I'm not staying if you're going to accuse me." "Sit," I said. He froze. "Sit down," I said again. He sat. I said, "Emily, tell me the truth." She covered her face. "I can't." Ryan said, "Don't do this." I slammed my hand on the table. "Tell me." Emily sobbed. "I didn't mean for it to happen." My ears rang. "Mean what?" Ryan said sharply. "Emily, stop." She shook her head. "I can't lie anymore." I looked at Ryan. "What did she mean?" He said nothing. I whispered, "Is the baby mine?" Emily cried harder. "No." The room went silent. I felt empty. "Whose is it?" She whispered, "Ryan's." I stared at him. He said quietly, "Adam." I raised my hand. "Don't." My voice cracked. "How long?" Emily said, "It just happened." I laughed, broken. "That's not an answer." Ryan said, "We didn't plan it." "You plan lying?" I said. He stood. "It was a mistake." "A mistake?" I said. "You betrayed me." Emily grabbed my arm. "Please don't hate us." I pulled away. "Us?" She said. I was confused. I said, "You chose him." Ryan said, "Don't make this worse." "Worse?" I said, "My life is over." Emily cried, "Don't ruin the family." I said, "You already did." Ryan said, "We can fix this." I laughed again. "Get out." Emily looked shocked. "Adam, get out," I said louder. Ryan said, "Think about this." "I am," I said. "Leave." Emily dropped to her knees. "Please." I said, "Stand up." She shook her head. "I'll do anything." "Leave," I said. Ryan pulled her up. "Come on." She looked at me one last time. "I'm sorry." I said nothing. The door closed. I stood alone in the silence. I sat on the floor and stared at the wall. Every memory felt fake. Every laugh felt stolen. I called Mark. "Say something," I said. "What happened?" he asked. "She cheated," I said. "With Ryan." He went quiet. "I'm coming over." Linda called next. "I heard," she said. "Did you?" I asked. "Yes," she said. "I'm so sorry." I whispered. "Blood didn't mean anything." "No," she said. "Character does." That night, I sat in the dark and replayed everything. I finally understood the truth. Betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from home. The apartment sounded different after they left. No footsteps, no voices, just a low hum that never stopped. I sat on the couch and said out loud, "It's too quiet." No one answered. Mark called. "Did you eat?" "I'm not hungry," I said. "You haven't eaten in 2 days." "I'll eat later." "You always say that." "I'm fine," I lied. He showed up anyway. "Look at you," Mark said. "You look hollow." "I feel normal," I said. "You're not," he said. "You're disappearing. I don't need a babysitter." "I'm not here to watch," he said. "I'm here to drag you back." "I don't want to be back," I said. He sighed. "She posted again." I flinched. "Posted what?" "Smiling pictures," he said. "Like nothing happened." I grabbed my phone and looked. Emily stood by a window, hand on her stomach, smiling. Ryan's reflection was in the glass. I threw the phone. "She erased me." Mark said quietly, "She didn't erase you. She escaped consequences." "That feels worse," I said. He grabbed my shoulders. "Talk to me." "There's nothing left," I said. "You're still here." I laughed. "Barely." Mark said, "Come out tonight." "I won't," I said. "You need air." "I need silence." He stood. "I'll check on you tomorrow." "Don't," I said. He paused. "I will anyway." After he left, I sat on the floor. I hadn't eaten. I hadn't slept. I watched the wall until my eyes burned. Linda called that night. You answered, she said. Barely, I said. I'm coming over, she said. You don't need to. I do, she said. She arrived with groceries. You look awful, she said. Thanks, I replied. She hugged me. I didn't move. You still exist, she said into my shoulder. I don't feel like it, I said. She pulled back. You're allowed to hurt, but you're not allowed to vanish. I don't have the energy to fight. Then don't fight, she said. Just breathe. I nodded, but I didn't believe her. That night, I scrolled through photos. Emily and Ryan moved in together. I saw boxes, a new couch, a new life. I whispered, 7 years meant nothing. My chest hurt. I stood and walked to the hallway. I hit the wall once. Then again. Pain exploded. Blood ran down my hand. I slid down and laughed. So this is rock bottom. I sat there until the pain dulled. The next morning, Linda said, You need help. I don't, I said. You do, she said. I made an appointment. With who? Dr. Harris. I'm not broken, I said. She looked at my hand. You punched a wall. I was angry. You're drowning, she said. I went because I was tired of arguing. Dr. Harris sat across from me. Why are you here? My sister forced me, I said. He nodded. Why did she force you? Because my wife cheated, I said. With my cousin. He said, and I feel empty, I said. That's normal, he said. I don't want normal, I said. I want to stop. What do you want to stop, he asked. The noise, I said. The replaying. He leaned forward. You're grieving. I'm angry, I said. Both can exist, he said. I don't care, I said. They won. He shook his head. They survived. That's different. I laughed. I'm the one barely breathing. And yet you're here, he said. That matters. It doesn't feel like rebellion, I said. It is, he replied. Choosing to live when pain tells you not to is defiance. I stared at him. He said, What happens if you don't survive? They get everything, I said. And if you do? He asked. I don't know, I said. Then find out, he said. I left the office quiet. That night, I ate soup Linda made. She watched me. Good. I don't feel better, I said. You're not supposed to yet, she said. I lay in bed alone and whispered, I'm still here. The silence answered back. For the first time, I didn't disappear into it. I listened instead. I woke up and told myself, You're still breathing. That felt like a decision. I stood, packed a bag, and said out loud, I'm not dying here. The apartment felt heavy. I called Mark. I'm moving out, I said. Good, he replied. When? Today. I'll help. I need to do it myself, I said. He paused. That's growth. I said it's survival. I left the keys on the counter and walked away. At work, my boss asked, You okay, Adam? I will be, I said. He nodded. Take this project. I trust you. That word mattered. I met Sarah in the break room. You knew, she said. New version, I replied. She smiled. Coffee, please. She didn't pry. She just listened. Emily called. I watched the phone ring. Answer it, Mark texted. No, I typed back. I'm choosing me. I blocked the number. Ryan's lies reached my phone anyway. Linda said, He's telling people you were abusive. I said, Let him talk. That's it, she asked. Yes, I said. I'm done reacting. I started writing things down. Dates, messages, screenshots. Mark asked, Planning revenge? No, I said. Planning safety. Sarah asked, Want lunch? Yes, I said. She said, You don't owe anyone your pain. That stuck. At night, I slept. In the mirror, I said, You survived today. It felt like winning. I found out about Ryan's job from Mark, not from gossip, not from celebration. Mark said he got fired, like he was reporting weather. I asked what? Background check, Mark said. Hidden debts. Failed everything. I nodded. I didn't touch anything. I know, he said. You didn't need to. At work, Sarah looked at me and said, You seem lighter. I stopped carrying things that weren't mine, I said. She smiled. That's rare. Emily's friends stopped liking her posts. Linda told me they finally asked questions. I said, I never answered any. That's why it worked, Linda said. I ran into Jason at a coffee shop. He stared at me. You're Adam. Yes. He sighed. Ryan did this before. Did what? I asked. Betrayed people, he said. Lied easily. I nodded. I see it now. Jason said, "Truth always circles back." I walked away calm. At home, I said to myself, peace feels better than revenge. I slept without anger. Truth remembered everything. So did I. Emily showed up without warning. I opened the door and saw her standing there, pregnant, pale, and shaking. She looked smaller than I remembered. "Adam," she said. "Please." I didn't invite her in. "Why are you here?" She rubbed her stomach. "I have nowhere else to go." "Ryan?" I asked. Her eyes filled. "He's not the same." I nodded. People rarely are when truth shows up. She swallowed. "He lost everything." "I know," I said. She stepped closer. "I need help." I stayed still. "With what?" "With surviving," she said. "I'm scared." I felt something twist inside me. "Is the baby okay?" She nodded quickly. "Yes." "That's good," I said. She whispered, "I thought you'd yell." "I don't need to," I said. She looked confused. "You don't hate me?" "I don't hate you," I said. "I just don't belong here." She cried. "I made a mistake." "You made a choice," I said. She reached for me. I stepped back. "I hope the child is safe," I said. "But I won't be part of this life." She shook her head. "I thought you'd save me." "I saved myself," I said. She left quietly. Ryan came later, furious. "You did this," he shouted. I said, "I did nothing." "You turned everyone against me," he said. "You did that," I replied. He clenched his fists. "You think you won?" I looked at him. "I think I'm free." He stared, lost. I walked away calm. The power had shifted. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. I heard about Ryan through silence. No calls. No defenses. Linda said, the family stopped answering him. I replied, "I didn't ask them to." "I know," she said. "That's why it's happening." She added, "He called me crying." I said, "What did you say?" I said, "Consequences don't negotiate," she replied. Emily moved back with her parents. Mark told me she packed fast. I said, "Good." He asked, "Do you feel anything?" I paused. Distance. Mark said, "That's progress." I didn't answer. That night, a letter arrived. My name was written carefully. I sat at the table and said, "Okay." I opened it slowly. "Adam," I read aloud. "I'm not asking you to forgive me." I stopped. My chest tightened. "I know I broke something that can't be fixed." I whispered, "You did. I think about who you were with me." I closed my eyes. You were kind. You were steady. I took that for granted. My hand shook. I live with regret every day. Tears fell before I noticed. I don't expect a reply. I folded the letter and cried. Not for her. For myself. For the man who trusted without fear. Linda called while I sat there. "You got it," she said. "Yes," I replied. "Are you okay?" "I'm honest," I said. "That's stronger," she said. The next day, Mark said, "Ryan's asking about you." I asked, "What do you say?" "I say you're done," he replied. "Good," I said. At therapy, Dr. Harris asked, "What did the letter do?" "It finished something," I said. "Did it reopen wounds?" "No," I said. "It named them." He nodded. "That's acceptance." "I didn't forgive her," I said. "You don't have to," he replied. "What about him?" I asked. "Who?" he said. "Ryan." "What do you feel?" he asked. "Nothing," I said. "And that scares me." He smiled gently. "That's peace starting." I leaned back. "Peace feels quiet." "It should," he said. I asked, "Why didn't I fight back harder?" "Because you chose dignity," he said. "That feels slow," I said. "It lasts longer," he replied. At home, I scrolled past old photos. I said, "We didn't deserve this." I deleted them. Emily's mother called. "I'm sorry," she said. I replied, "I hope she's okay." She is," she said. "But she's different." "So am I," I said. We hung up. Ryan tried once more. He texted, "Can we talk?" I stared at the screen. I typed no. He replied, "I'm sorry." I said out loud, "Too late." Mark asked, "Do you want me to block him for you?" "No," I said. "I want to see the silence." Linda visited and said, "You look older." I said, "I feel clearer." She smiled. "That's healing." I asked her, "Did you ever think they'd do this?" She shook her head. "But I always believed you'd survive." At therapy, Dr. Harris said, "You're not angry anymore." "I'm tired," I said. "Tired people choose peace," he replied. I asked, "Will this follow me forever?" "Only if you carry it," he said. "So I can put down?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "Anytime." At work, Sarah noticed my silence. She said, "You're different lately. Better or worse?" I asked. "Stronger," she said. I thanked her. That night, I stood in the shower and said, "You lived." The words felt real. I didn't miss them. I missed myself. I forgave that man. I kept moving. Emily never wrote again. That mattered. I told Dr. Harris, I don't need closure from her. He said, "You already gave it to yourself." Ryan lost more than work. Family dinners went on without him. Linda said, "His name doesn't come up." I replied, "That's louder than anger." Mark asked, "Do you ever want revenge?" I said, "I want sleep." He laughed. "That's healthier." One evening, I sat alone and spoke to the room. "I loved honestly," I said. "That counts." No one argued. At therapy, Dr. Harris asked, "Who are you now?" I said, "Someone who listens." "To what?" he asked. "To myself," I replied. He nodded. "That's the lesson." I walked home and felt steady. I wasn't waiting anymore. I was living. My father called after months of silence. He said, "I heard what happened." I replied, "Yes." "I'm sorry," he said. "Thank you," I replied. He asked, "How are you holding up?" "I'm standing," I said. "That's enough," he said. We ended the call quietly. At therapy, Dr. Harris said, "Grief changes shape." "I feel that," I said. "Describe it," he asked. "It used to crush me," I said. "Now it just reminds me." "Of what?" he asked. "Of what I won't accept again," I said. "That's growth," he replied. I asked, "Why do I still think about him?" "Because betrayal rewires memory," he said. "So it fades?" I asked. "With time," he said. "And honesty." I nodded. At home, I cooked for myself. I said, "This is enough." I ate slowly. I rested. I stayed. Sarah texted, "Coffee tomorrow?" I replied, "Yes." She asked, "How are you really?" I typed, "Learning." She sent, "That's good." I put the phone down. I looked around my place and said, "This is mine." No one argued. I sat with the quiet and didn't rush it. I told myself, "You're allowed peace." The words stayed. I breathed. I chose to keep going. At the next session, Dr. Harris asked, "What do you want now?" I said, "Stability." He asked, "From who?" "From me," I replied. He smiled. "That's the right answer." I asked, "Will trust come back?" "Yes," he said, "with better boundaries." I nodded. I like that. At home, I spoke aloud. "I didn't lose everything," I said. "I lost illusions." That felt accurate. I sat in the dark and didn't feel afraid. I felt finished, not broken, finished with pain ruling me. I stood and turned off the light. I rested. I checked my phone one last time that night. No messages. I smiled. I said, "This is enough." And for the first time, I didn't need answers anymore. I needed calm. I had it. I kept it. I moved forward. Mark called before bed. "You good?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "For real?" "For real," I replied. He said, "I'm proud of you." I said, "I'm learning to be." He laughed. "That's enough." We hung up. I slept. Morning came quietly. I welcomed it. I stayed. I chose peace again and again. I said, "You made it." I believed it. I closed my eyes and rested. The weight remained, but it no longer crushed me. That was enough. I moved forward without noise. I accepted the quiet and kept walking. I didn't look back. I chose myself. That was the truth. I lived with it, and I moved on. That mattered. I stayed alive. I stayed honest. That was enough. I rested there, quietly. Finally, I accepted it all. I kept breathing. Still, here, alive, present, whole, enough, always. Now, here, I remain, standing, still, calm, quiet, free, me. I signed the papers at the attorney's office. "It's final," I said aloud, though no one answered. "You sure about this?" the lawyer asked. "I'm sure," I said. "I need it done." He nodded. "You understand the terms?" "Yes," I said. "Everything is clear." Walking out, I said, "It's over." The words sounded strange, but clean. No anger, no fire, just finality. Mark called as I stepped outside. "How do you feel?" "Lighter," I said. "Surprisingly lighter." "Good," he said. "You deserve that." "I think so," I replied. At work, my boss called me into his office. "Adam, congratulations. You've been promoted." "Thank you." I said. You earned it, he said. Leadership suits you. I appreciate it, I said. Walking back to my desk, I thought of the apartment I was leaving behind, the memories tied to walls and doors, laughter and lies. I needed something new. I found it a week later, a small, sunlit apartment with big windows. I moved slowly, placing boxes and unpacking in silence. This is better, I whispered to myself. I can breathe here. Sarah came over that afternoon. Wow, it's bright, she said. It is, I said. Feels alive. She smiled. Good for you. I need it alive, I admitted. She laughed softly. You've been through a lot. I have, I said. But I'm okay. She put down her coffee. I like seeing you like this. Like what? I asked. Calm. Present. Not defined by what happened before. I'm learning, I said. We worked together on a project later that week. She offered ideas without taking credit. She listened without judging. It was easy, comfortable. You know, she said during a break, friendship doesn't need to be complicated to matter. I nodded. I'm glad for that. Emily tried to call once. I ignored it. Then she texted. I blocked her before reading. Ryan's name reached me differently. Mark said, he's in trouble legally now. Really? I asked. Yeah, he said. Not sure of the details yet. I didn't feel satisfaction, only distance. Good for him, I guess, I said. Distance feels better than anger. Mark asked. I nodded. Much better. I began documenting things again, not for defense, not for attack, but for clarity. Dates, conversations, everything in order. I didn't need to prove myself to anyone anymore. One evening, I said aloud, I am enough. Sarah laughed softly. You are. I mean it this time, I said. You always did, she replied. It wasn't friendship with hidden feelings or quiet jealousy. It was something rarer, respect, trust, and connection without complication. I opened a window and let the sunlight spill across the floor. This is mine, I whispered. Later, I sat at the kitchen table, coffee in hand. Mark called again. How's life? He asked. Good, I said. Stable. Quiet. That's progress, he said. Yes, I said. It feels like it. I glanced at the files on my desk. Ryan's legal trouble didn't excite me. It was neutral, factual. I had no desire for his downfall. My satisfaction came from my own life. Adam, Mark said, you sound at peace. I am, I said. Not happy, not vengeful. Just here. Sarah visited again. You've decorated nicely, she said. Trying, I said. This space is new. It needs attention. It suits you, she said. I smiled. It does. She laughed. You sound like you're finally done with the past. I am, I said. I'm living it, not living in it. I wrote in my journal that night. Not letters to anyone. Not complaints. Not revenge. Just facts, thoughts, and reflections. I am present, I wrote. I am safe. I am alive. I am respected. The words felt true. I poured water into a glass and sipped slowly. The sound was calming. I noticed how quiet it was, how calm, how mine. No one owed me anything anymore. No one. I owed myself everything. I looked at the sunlight through the window. It warmed my face. I said, this is enough. No rage, no anger, no despair. Only clarity and life. I didn't think about what they lost or what I endured. I thought about what I kept myself intact. Sarah knocked softly. Coffee tomorrow? Yes, I said. I'd like that. She smiled and left. Alone, I walked to the balcony and felt the air. The city hummed below, distant. I whispered, I won this without spilling blood, without hatred. It wasn't a victory of destruction. It was a victory of self-respect. I went inside, turned on the lights, and sat at my desk. I organized papers, filed documents, and wrote notes. Each act was deliberate, careful, controlled. I said aloud, this is my life. Mine to manage. Mine to protect. Mark called once more that evening. You're quiet, he said. Finally, I replied. Quiet suits me. That's good, he said. I'm proud. Thanks, I said. After I hung up, I looked around my apartment. Sunlight filled every corner. Everything was new, bright, and mine. I smiled. I don't need revenge. I need me. I poured another cup of coffee and sat in the sunlight, listening to the city. Calm, unbroken, and alive. I whispered one last time, "This is enough." And it was. I finally felt in control. I finally felt free. No one's shadow haunted me. No lies could touch me. I had peace, stability, and self-respect. And that was everything. I moved forward, slowly, deliberately, without hate, without fear, just life. Mine, real, whole, complete. Finally, I smiled, breathed, and stayed. I existed. I mattered. I was free, and that was my victory. I sat in my apartment and watched the sunlight spill across the floor. It wasn't perfect. Nothing about this life was perfect, but it was mine. I whispered, "I survived." Mark called. "How's it going?" "Calm," I said. "That's new," he said. "I needed calm," I said. "Not chaos." He chuckled softly. "You earned it." "I think so," I replied. I walked to the window and looked down at the street. People moved through their lives, unaware of what I endured. That was fine. I didn't need witnesses. Sarah knocked on the door. "Coffee?" she asked. "Come in," I said. She smiled, carrying 2 mugs. "You've changed," she said. "I've survived," I said. "That changes a person." She laughed softly. "Surviving doesn't always feel victorious." "It does today," I said. "Calm feels like victory." She sat down. "You don't seem bitter." "I'm not," I said. "I refuse to be. Bitterness eats from the inside. I've had enough." She nodded. "Good." I thought about Emily, about Ryan, about the years I lost. I whispered, "I don't need them." "You don't," she agreed. I said aloud, "I acknowledge the pain." "Do you?" she asked. "I do," I said. "But it doesn't own me." "I can see that," she said. We sat in silence for a moment. Not awkward, just quiet. "I used to look in the mirror," I said, "and see someone I didn't recognize." "Who did you see?" she asked. "A man afraid," I said. Afraid to speak, to question, to stand alone. Afraid of the people I loved the most. "And now?" she asked. "Now I see someone who survived," I said. "Someone calm, deliberate, alive. Someone who built himself back from ashes." She smiled softly. "That's powerful." "I don't feel strong because I won against them," I said. "I feel strong because I didn't let their betrayal define me." "That's real strength," she said. I looked down at my hands. Scarred from rage, trembling from loss, shaking from grief. I touched them and said, "These hands built life again." She placed her hand on mine. "You did." I smiled faintly. "I chose not to disappear." "That's enough," she said. "I think it is," I said. Later, I stood in front of the mirror. The man looking back was familiar now. Stronger, calmer, whole. I whispered, "I survived." That is victory. I thought of the letters, the calls, the silences. The fights I didn't start. The anger I didn't fuel. The decisions I made for myself. I said aloud, "They broke me once. I rebuilt myself forever." The reflection didn't argue. It didn't need to. It simply existed, solid and real. I walked across the apartment, feeling the light spill over the walls. Everything I touched, everything I built belonged to me now. I picked up my journal and wrote, "I am alive. I am calm. I am free." The pen felt heavy and light at the same time. I wrote slowly, savoring each word. Mark called later. "Are you okay?" "I am," I said. "Finally. For real." "For real," I said. I hung up and turned to the window again. The city hummed below. I listened, breathing steadily. "I am enough," I whispered. "I am whole." I thought of Ryan, of Emily, of the people who tried to control, manipulate, and betray. I smiled faintly. They tried. They failed. I didn't gloat. I didn't rejoice. I simply existed. Calm, deliberate, present. I sat down with my coffee and felt the warmth in my hands. The sunlight caught my eyes in the mirror again. I whispered, "This is life. Mine. Honest. Undivided." Sarah texted, "How are you?" I typed back, "I'm living." That was true. I walked to the balcony and let the wind touch my face. It smelled like rain, fresh and cleansing. I said aloud, "I choose the future." No bitterness, I whispered. No hate. Just me. I felt the weight of everything I lost, but also the power of everything I gained. I thought of the nights I cried alone, the punches I threw at walls, the sleepless hours, the conversations I had with myself in silence. And I said, none of it was wasted. I felt the calm spread through me. Quiet, solid, real. I looked at the city lights turning on as evening fell. They blinked like stars, distant and untouchable. I survived, I whispered again. So I won. I smiled, not because they failed, not because I had revenge, but because I still existed. Because I rebuilt myself. Because I was alive. I whispered, I am mine. The reflection in the mirror nodded back silently. Stronger, calmer, alive. I sat down and closed my eyes. No regrets, no anger, no longing, only peace. I let it wash over me. I said once more, softly, to no one in particular. They broke me once. I rebuilt myself forever. And for the first time, I truly believed it. I was free. I had survived. And that was justice enough.